I'm going to spend the next few minutes walking you through the MINISFORUM AIX1 Pro 470 and try to answer the exact question most of us ask before we click Add to Cart. Is this tiny box going to actually make my daily workflow smoother? Or am I just paying a premium for a flashy badge? I know the hesitation that comes with mini PCs. You've seen the sleek chassis, the promise of a desktop-class CPU and a coffee table footprint, but you're also aware of the trade-offs like limited upgrade paths and the occasional fan whine. If you're still on the fence, this review will break down real-world usage, potential pitfalls, and who really benefits from the AIX1 Pro 470. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. First off, the X1 Pro 470 is built around AMD's new Ryzen AI 9 HX470, a Zen 5-based chip that bundles a dedicated AI engine. In practice, this means you'll get a boost when you're running inference workloads. Think of it like having a tiny version of the AI acceleration you'd find in a data center server, but scaled for a desktop. For someone who stitches together video clips with AI-driven upscaling, or uses tools like Photoshop's generative fill, the AI Copilot support can shave a few seconds off each pass. For a standard office user who just needs Excel, Teams, or a web browser, the AI engine is essentially idle, and you'll be paying for a feature you'll never touch. The graphics side is handled by Radeon 890M, a RDNA 3.5-based GPU that can drive 4 monitors simultaneously via HDMI and DisplayPort. In my testing, the card handled a 1440 plus 4K display with decent frame rates for everyday tasks, smooth scrolling, quick window tiling, and even light 3D work in Blender. If you're a casual creator who does photo editing, occasional 1080p video rendering, or runs multiple dashboards, the GPU will feel competent. However, if you're looking to game at 4K or do heavy 3D rendering, you'll start to see the limits. The 890M is not a high-end gaming card, so frame rates drop under demanding titles. That's a clear boundary. The X1 Pro 470 shines for productivity and light creative work, but it isn't a replacement for a dedicated gaming rig. One of the biggest advantages of a mini PC is the desk footprint. The X1 Pro 470 measures just under 2 liters, so it slides neatly under a monitor or onto a small shelf, freeing up valuable real estate. This is a tangible win for people who work in tight office cubicles or home studios where every inch counts. The chassis also includes two 2.5 gigabits Ethernet ports and Wi-Fi 7, which gives you the flexibility to either bond both connections for extra bandwidth or keep a wired and a wireless line separate. In my own setup, I've used the dual LAN ports to separate work traffic from a personal VPN without any noticeable latency, something you'd normally need a larger chassis to accomplish. Thermals and fan noise are where many mini PCs stumble, and the AIX1 Pro 470 does a respectable job. The internal cooling uses a dual fan configuration with a copper heat pipe that sits directly on the CPU surface. Under idle or light office loads, the fans stay below 30 dB, barely audible above background hum. When you push the CPU into a sustained AI workload, say, running a local LLM or batch video encoding, the fans ramp up to around 45 dB, which is comparable to a quiet office fan. It's not silent, but it doesn't become a distraction either. The system maintains temperatures in the low 70 SC under full load, which is within safe limits for the Ryzen 9 HX series, so you aren't risking thermal throttling. The trade-off is that the fans are not user replaceable. If you ever need a quieter solution, you'll have to live with the stock cooler or swap the entire unit. Memory and storage are generous out of the box: 32 GB of DDR5 RAM and a 1 TB NVMe SSD. The board supports up to 96 GB of RAM, meaning you can add 2 more 32 GB sticks if your workloads demand it. For a mini PC, that's an unusually high ceiling, and it makes sense for professionals who might be running multiple VM instances or large datasets locally. The SSD is soldered, so you can't swap it out without desoldering, but you can add an extra M.2 drive via the OCU Link expansion slot. That slot is a nice touch. It lets you attach a compute accelerator or an external storage enclosure without cluttering the front panel. If you're a photographer who needs fast access to raw files, you can bolt a secondary high-speed NVMe module and keep your primary drive for the OS. Now, let's talk about who should consider buying this. If you are a remote worker who needs a compact, powerful machine that can handle AI-enhanced productivity apps, multiple monitors, and a stable wired network while still fitting in a small home office, the X1 Pro 470 hits the sweet spot. Its combination of a strong CPU, modest GPU, and abundant RAM makes it ideal for data analysts, developers, or creatives who use AI upscaling as part of their pipeline, e.g., video editors who need quick IBIST frame